Hello, friends. Now we have started on viral diseases. I am Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor of Veterinary Medicine. In this presentation, we will see Rinderpest Part 2. And in this, we will see the clinical finding stages. There are 5 stages, characteristic 5 stages of this viral disease. Clinical findings of Rinderpest. In enzootic areas, there is constant viral infection. That means animal is constantly exposed to rinderpest virus, and when the animals are getting low grade of or low dose of virus, the animal develop certain degree of long lasting immunity. So in these enzootic areas, the indigenous animal of that area are not suffering from very acute cases, but they are suffering from a moderate cases. But where there is no immunity, the animals are suffering from acute febrile disease. And most common host we have seen, that is cattle and buffaloes, especially young cattle. The hilly cattle are more susceptible, more acute course in that in comparison to the cattle residing in the plain area. The crossbreds are have some immunity. So crossbred may not show very acute cases, but purebred exotic cattle, they are highly susceptible and they show for acute or acute febrile disease. The morbidity is 100% in susceptible population. So this disease is very dangerous. Mortality is also very high, 90 to 100%. This is the another part of the severity of disease. The course of this rinderpest shows a characteristic pattern of clinical signs. The clinical sign course consists of 4 or 5 stages. In some literature, it is mentioned 4 stages. In some literature, 5 stages. We are describe this all. There are 5 stages of characteristic clinical course of rinderpest that are mentioned here. The first stage is called as incubation period. Entry of virus till it shows the clinical symptoms. The second stage is considered as a first stage of showing the symptom, prodromal stage. Prodroma, here there is drama. Prodromal phase, initiation of symptom till fever or characteristic symptom, that is prodromal phase. Stage 3, mucosal phase, that is characteristic lesion of the mucosal surfaces of the gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract. Stage 4, diarrheic phases. Here, there is severity of the symptoms and causes diarrhea and dysentery. Then, after, there is fifth stage, that is a stage of recovery called convalescent phase. In some literature, four stages are mentioned. In some literature, this mucosal phase and diarrheic phase are separate. So there are five stages. In some literature, mucosal days and diarrheic phase are clubbed together. In that case, there are four stages. Now we see the first stage, that is the incubation period. The incubation period is generally 2 to 9 days. But this incubation period depends on virulence of the strain, that means capacity of the virus to develop a severe disease, dose of virus, the immune status of animal, the breed of cattle, and many other factors decide the incubation period and the course of the symptom. If the incubation period is very short, the disease spreads very fast. There is rapid multiplication of virus in various tissues of the body, in lymphoid tissue, lungs, bone marrow, and intestine. There is active proliferation and dissemination of virus in the body. Almost all tissues are affected, and that results into the a very important symptom, and the first symptom is the fever. Now we see here the second stage, that is prodromal stage. This is the first phase is referred as a prodroma or prodromal. This phase is a period between appearance of the initial symptom and the full development of fever. So this period is called as from initial phase to the full symptom is called as prodromal phase. This stage lasts for 3 to 5 days. There is marked increase in temperature, very high temperature, 105 to 107 degrees centigrade. The temperature lasts for about 3 to 5 days, and then there is appearance of the lesions in the mouth. Due to fever, there is dullness, depression, restlessness, and anorexia. There is appearance of characteristic mucosal lesions, and because of the infection, there is profuse serous, nasal, and lacrimal discharge. These discharges are initially serous, then discharges become mucoid, then after few days mucopurulent, and finally discharge become a thick purulent one. Muzzle dry, the body coat become very starry, and initially the animal manifest constipation, that is because of complete stoppage of the GI tract, passage of dry hard feces. Feces is coated with mucus and blood. This presence of mucus and blood suggests there is damage into the GI tract. First stage, incubation stage. Second stage, prodromal phase. Third stage, now this is progress to mucosal phase. Here there are characteristic cardinal signs are seen in this phase. Mucosal phase, mouth lesions. There is characteristic erosions and necrosis of mucous membrane on the inner side of the lips. Characteristic place, inner side of the lips. The adjacent gums adjacent to these lips, under the tongue and back of the hard palate. The mucous membrane is highly congested. First, the mouth lesions are a grayish foci with a necrotic centers and shallow erosions with bleeding. So initially there is grayish foci, the center is necrotic and initially shallow erosion and that starts bleeding. Then there is ulcer formation. There is a necrosis of the epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue cells and layers are peeled off and it looks like there is bran deposit into the mouth. This bran deposit is nothing but they are the necrotic epithelial layer flakes. That is also a characteristic. There is restlessness and excessive thirst. Excessive thirst because there is diarrhea, loss of water, there is fever, so also there is excessive thirst due to disease. The animal is not taking or drinking water. So due to these reasons, there is excessive thirst. One reason is there is fever. Second, animal is anorexic or not taking water. Third, there is dehydration due to diarrhea. And fourth, there is burning sensation that also leads to excessive thirst desire. Temperature is very high and now there is regression after the beginning of the diarrhea. Diarrhea starts, there is regression of the temperature. Rapid dehydration because of the severe diarrhea. And that leads to marked weakness, loss of water from the body, and causes severe progressive emaciation. Emaciation is also progressing fast, and because of the severe consequences we have seen above, there is a death of the animal. Now we see the symptom in the fourth stage, that is called as diarrheic phase. Mostly in this phase there is severe diarrhea. 3 days after appearance of the mucosal ulcers and erosions, there is regression of the fever. Fever comes down and this initiation of profusion diarrhea. Initially there was constipation, now conversion of the case into profuse diarrhea. The feces is dark in color because of presence of blood. Feces is very fluidy, presence of mucus, presence of necrotic epithelium debris and cast in the feces, and presence of blood. This necrotic epithelium debris and cast are due to the damage to the intestinal tract. There is sloughing of the internal mucosal layer. Sometimes there is cast is observed, long cast, that suggests a severe damage to the mucosa of the intestine. There is severe diarrhea, so severe dehydration. Because of the inflammation in the intestine, there is abdominal pain. There is fast wasting of the body. Severely affected animal collapse because of the dehydration, and the animal die within 12 days after the onset of clinical signs. Those few animals survive, progress to convalescent period or convalescent phase, phase 5. And this convalescent period lasts for few weeks. Now we see the symptoms in the fifth stage, convalescent phase, that is the last phase. The word convalescent means healing, animal regaining the health. There is healing of the mouth lesion, rapid regeneration of the affected epithelium of the mouth and intestine also. Slowly animal recover and gain the general health. The mortality in cattle, sheep and goat and pig is 90% and morbidity is nearly 100%. This mortality and mortality depends on virulence of virus, immunity status of the animal, the dose of virus, and other several factors. Friends requested to share this important information to other veterinarian and veterinary students to provide services to the animal. To promote and support the channel, requested to subscribe this channel. Thank you very much for observing this video. Next time I will come with part 3 of Rinderpest. Thanks.